What is essential change? The dictionary describes the word essential as absolutely necessary, extremely important, a must. So, in the next few minutes, I want to provide a sense of urgency for those who need, for themselves or for someone they love, a change in habit, lifestyle, and actions that are causing harm and pain. In this presentation, we're going to discuss a method and a roadmap for preventing, eliminating, and managing behavior or situations that lead to injury, incarceration, and potentially even death. Who needs this presentation? Who is this for? This presentation is for clients, potential clients, family members, those that care for them, and those that support them. It's also for helping professionals. And what I mean by helping professionals, healthcare professionals, social service and correctional professionals, addictions professionals, clergy, volunteers even. All those who have been disappointed by failures in the systems they have placed both their faith and finances in. And that's regardless of the reasons, okay? Also, for those that understand that we lose an unacceptable amount of young lives as related to the percentages we're trying to help. So we need to definitely step up the amount of people that we are helping. The percentages are far too low. And thirdly, for those that believe that there is a path for each individual that is not obvious and not always easy, but each individual there is a particular path and we can reach out to each individual. So if you believe that, that's who this presentation is for you. So let's look a little bit more at the problem, the pain it causes, and a roadmap to the solution. Our population of 18 to 25-year-olds have a failure rate of over 60%, and this is a chronic disaster. Here's some of the reasons, and not limited to relapse from drug and alcohol rehabilitation, recidivism from first and second time offenders, compliance with efforts to control social and environmental behavior issues. 60% here is a conservative issue. I want to take a little bit of time now to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Richard Jones, RN, and this is Essential Change with my company Second Starts. I've been in nursing for over 35 years. Spent a lot of time in corrections and addictions, over 10 years, director of nursing at a county facility. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm a recovery consultant. So a little bit about my story and my whys for why I started Second Starts and what I was trying to accomplish. Along with a 35-year nursing career, I've always been fascinated with the self-help and motivational industry. I still have my original Tony Robbins tape, Personal Performance, and I became very interested not so much in the gurus themselves, but the approaches to procrastination and personal performances that they talked about. And most of the time, their approaches always had more of an entrepreneurial or financial motivation. But as a nurse, the many people that I worked with, they had more immediate concerns, life and death challenges most of the time. So I noticed right away there's a difference between wanting to be motivated and needing to be motivated. So this led to an obsession in my mind and being able to blend the self-help and motivational techniques in with a real-life nursing principles and nursing approach to create what I like to call essential changes. These life-saving changes that are needed, and some people need extra motivation and extra challenges while using a medical and nursing approach mentally. And this is how Essential Change was born. One of the most important principles of Essential Change is strengthening and using as a leverage what I like to call the real team. Now, when taking a look at what I like to call the real team, the client, helping professional, and the support system, what we need to do is take a multiplication tactic toward this. The client, 1, Helping Professional 2, Support System 3. In this instance, if we can magnify the abilities, the strengths, and the resources of each one of those components, now we're not dealing with a 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3 situation. Now we're dealing with a 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 10 situation, because we're taking each aspect of that team and we're multiplying it and squeezing every bit of leverage out of it in order to get a successful situation. The first thing we are looking at is the client, and we're really focusing on the client's pain, a solution for that client, and how to bring about a really transformational change. And there's three main areas that we look at when we look at the client and working in with the second starts method. First is we're looking at the trust, we're looking at reliability, and we're looking at responsibility. When it comes to trust, the biggest pain that most clients run into is feeling that the people around them no longer look at them as someone that they can trust or rely on, and say that is demoralizing to people, and they tend to run away from that pressure instead of moving toward it. The people who love and support you, the pride of having that love and support is completely unmatched, and the pain that it causes is probably our greatest leverage in helping that client to make an essential change. The client itself can never really be allowed to doubt his power to be respected and trusted and become a source of honesty. That is essential in getting that client to make that essential change. Also, having the client understand that not only is it possible, but it's essential that he becomes an asset and not a liability. Those factors in themselves will allow the client to multiply his ability to become an integral part of the team instead of being drug along by the team. Reliability. There's a certain pain in being an object of weakness versus a source of strength. One of the ways that we can get the client to understand his reliability is allow him to understand really particular principles. And that principle is, first of all, being predictable. And that is, in helping the client do that, we help the client to gain specific knowledge about knowing exactly where and how and why he or she operates or exists. And that predictability turns itself into reliability, a consistency, being measured with measured actions, specific and daily. That also builds a great strength in the client. And of course, accountability, linking actions to the expectations of the support network cannot be overestimated. And that is one of the things that we definitely look for. We also want to instill a sense of responsibility from needing to becoming a helper, okay? That is where a real personal power exists for individuals who are dealing with chronic situations and helping them make the transformation from being needy to needed, okay? Instilling a real sense of personal power through word and action, and allowing them to become more productive and to perceive the different changes in their life from making that transformation from basically being a person who is a victim to a person who is now an action, a doer, okay? And this is, they become supportive, and they do that by leading and helping others. So that's part of the responsibility that is sort of instilled in the Second Starts program. For us helping professionals, we have a pain and need a solution in these situations that need essential change also. A lot of times, we want to know as helping professionals that everyone is sharing our concern. You want to know that the client is working just as hard as you are for their success. You want to know that the support system, values your support and your information and your skills. you understand that your skills are extremely useful, but you do understand that they are only as useful as those that are working with you. So you really want the treatment team to work together so you can bring your skills to bear. And you are here basically to help change situations and relieve pain. So you don't want to be looked at as just a tool. You want to be looked at as someone who is actually in it to win it, as they would say also. So it's extremely important as a helping professional that your pain and the solutions that you're looking for and the change that you're looking for is also achieved. Okay. The support system. For you, it's a support system, and that can mean anyone from family and friends, mentors, anyone who's looking to help this individual change. You understand that the present path is extremely painful, and along with the client, your hopes can be damaged or destroyed also. So a lot of times being in a support role can be extremely fragile, and you need to be brought along in this process and be an integral member of the team. And a lot of times that's very difficult without specific instruction. Let's be honest, there is a sense of embarrassment on the family. A lot of times these things can cause damage to the family legacy, the social standing of the family, and this is an extreme part, and it all makes a support system very wary of certain helpers or certain types of change. There's also the fear and anxiety that goes along with it. Obviously, as a support system, and especially we're talking about family here, you just always want to see the worst case scenarios in this, and that can help as a change agent, but also that anxiety can also not be very productive when we're talking about helping the client make the transformation. And of course, a lot of times with the support system, there's a great desire to help, a great need to help, but unorganized and non-specific attempts at helping can be detrimental to what we actually are trying to achieve, and that is an essential change for that client. Now, at Second Starts, we understand that each and every person will not be helped. So we understand that there is a potential for failure, but at Second Starts, we also believe this. A 60% failure rate, really, that is way too much, and many more people can be helped by that. So at Second Starts, we're looking at that. 60% is good, but it's really only good in baseball. And I had to put that picture up because that's baseball right there. And this 60% really represents a disaster, okay? We're talking about the destruction of promising futures, a life of pain for the young person and the people that love them, and helping professionals just feeling deflated and disappointment, and it's not necessary. The 60% number is way too high. We need to definitely get that down, and we get that down one person at a time. The Second Starts method, it's a completely real life approach. It came to myself and the people who have helped me work on this, speaking directly and candidly with hundreds and thousands in different areas of families, different healthcare workers, social service workers, correctional professionals, all the areas, just speaking to everyone and seeing, what works in their lives and what does not work. We talk to people and families constantly who have had multiple failures in corrections and addictions and social issues, and really dig deep into their lives and the particular circumstances, separating individuals and looking to understand what made a situation better, what made a situation worse. Okay, we talk to a lot of families, and we understand that basically what they crave is focus and results-based help. They want to see when an action is attempted that there is a specific result for that action. And need to believe that there is actually a physical and written clear path for success. They don't want a lot of theory. They want to see action. They've had a lot of pain and a lot of different systems who have left them abandoned. So basically, what families are looking for is a clear path to success. So the second starts method is a results only system, and it basically is built around establishing the power and the leverage of the entire real team that we just talked about, okay? A crystal clear roadmap to what we're going to do from day to day. And of course, a results oriented business model. And now, when we talk about a roadmap, basically what we're talking about is something that provides a template to work on and a direction to go, while basically infusing in that template clear individual care plan actions for the individual. So the template serves as a roadmap on which way to go, but each action is basically prescribed by individual care planning of that individual. So the roadmap itself is just a template that we use to begin a transformation and to see it clear to the end, so we know exactly where we're going. Now, there are some very important principles and concepts for the second starts method. The first one is that we'd like to take the entire transformation of the client and look at it as a real team, as what we call a 360-degree, 10,000-foot view. In other words, we take everything that has happened, every direction that we want the client to go to, and every result that we want to get, and we look at it in a total objectivity, in a clear overhead view. We want to involve everyone in the real team in real time. In other words, there is no room for different individuals of the team coming up with different concepts at different times and then getting together later and discussing it. This whole time, the client is left vulnerable. So everything is done in real time, while at the same time preserving the client's privacy, which also now gives the client more motivation to continue, understanding that while there is constant help, there's constant privacy also. We want to establish also advocacy. We want to really infuse into the client the understanding that what he or she is doing, they're doing in what we call the right kind of selfishness. In other words, there is a certain direction that they need to go in. And while they are part of the team, this whole transformation is focused on them. So they need to learn to specifically and unapologetically advocate for themselves. We also use a concept in Second Starts Method that no one is left behind. Most of the systems that we have in place really leave a lot of outs for where they weren't ready, or, the situation was too hard for them at this time. No, we have a no one left behind attitude. And each program is started with each individual, and the only object is complete success. Is success always attained? No, but it will not be because of the Second Starts Method not trying to bring them along. The other principle is immediate course correction, and this is one of the most important aspects of the program. When a direction goes wrong, if it is not stopped immediately, evaluated, and corrected, there is no hope of actually receiving the transformation. And in the Second Starts Method, the transformation is the only thing that we're trying to achieve. So immediate course correction, and we'll talk about that a lot later, what course correction means for the client and what it means to the program, okay? The most important principle we feel like is results. You and your family or whoever is involved in the Second Starts Method with a client, there must be results. Results are measured depending on the necessity, daily, hourly, minute by minute if necessary. but all results are achieved, and each and every aspect of a daily regimen is definitely followed with immediate course correction and immediate deliverability of the results that we're looking for. And results are obtained or program is halted. There is no, like most programs, where you dial your insurance in and everybody hopes everything's okay. Second Starts is not like that. We are going on daily objectives, daily goals to meet very specific landmarks. And these landmarks must be met, or there's no payments received by us at all. There's no wasted financial obligation by anyone who is a support member in the Second Stars program. And that is definitely talked about when you reach out to us. We let you know that this is a no risk, financially no risk situation. Now, the roadmap for Second Starts is a strategic plan. Okay, it defines goals and desired outcomes, includes the major steps, the details, the timing, and the resources to reach each goal. It's extremely important. Each patient has an individual care plan, and there's an individual care plan approach. Okay, the structure is there, but the structure is flexible. Okay, and all components of the real team are accounted for. In other words, all three components of the real team are involved in the actions and accountability in the client's transformation. Okay, as you saw in the note before, there are 3 phases. Okay, and each phase is designed for a complete transformation in that phase. Okay. One of the most important components of the Second Starts program is the theory of detrimental procrastination. In order to fight what we call detrimental procrastination, we intentionally increase the productive, beneficial actions and habits, constantly increasing them. The old saying in idle mind and body and soul is the whose workshop. So in order to fight detrimental procrastination, we focus on building. Another major important theory in Second Starts is the system of Kaizen, basically a system initiated by a Japanese industrialist. And it basically states that consistent, relentless, and incremental improvement is the key to reaching and surpassing a target. Remember, our target here in Second Starts is never just a particular thing, but it is the installation of a new lifestyle. And this new lifestyle will now give the protection needed to stop the chronic situations that go over again by just instilling a new lifestyle. The other theory is frequency. The theory of frequency is extremely important. Frequency in Second Starts is that area where you can still hear resistance to detrimental behavior. Explained. If we take a person and tell them that they're not to do any bad habit, okay? And we tell them starting now, don't do it. Well, obviously it is easy not to do it in 1 minute. It's easy not to do it in 2 minutes. But if we check back next week, somewhere along the line, the detrimental behavior has been done. Somewhere in between there is a frequency. What Second Starts does is cuts that frequency down, respects that frequency, and understands what is the time variance in which a person can actually hear resistance to behavior. In other words, instead of waiting for triggers, we basically understand what the time period is for that person and how long they can resist a detrimental procrastination or detrimental behavior. How long can they resist it? And we work in that framework. Another theory that Second Starts works in is variation versus uniformity. And this is extremely important. In second starts, variation versus uniformity basically includes that mixture of predictability in direction versus the variation in how systems are implemented. In other words, a person obviously needs to know in what direction are going, but when too much predictability in the methods, questioning, response are available, that allows for procrastination. So what second starts does is it allows for the continued uniformity of a desired goal while completely using variation techniques for contact, response, and presentation. In other words, this alone will take away the desire and the need for detrimental procrastination and still achieve the desired results. Continued principles of the Second Starts program are: one, attention. Second Starts will always desire to complete the entire team's attention on each and every direction and task that we're going. So attention is completely attained and maintained throughout the program. Direction is always maintained throughout the program and talked about. We also use something we like to call assisted motivation, and that goes back to some of our self-help principles, where we use some of the sometimes more fluffy self-help principles, but also to attain measurable results. Okay, because we guarantee a complete transformation, we have to make sure that we approach the client's needs in each and every direction. So guaranteed transformation is definitely something that is worked on and not only a program basis, but a day-to-day basis. And this is how we, as Second Starts, are measured by our clients. This is how we're measured, and quite frankly, is how we get paid on what results we deliver. Without results, we don't get paid anything, and that's extremely important to understand. So, as far as attention goes, when you become a client, you and your group become a client of Second Starts, we have what we call the first 48 hours. What that does is that's a period of time where we understand the program. We all get together and agree on a destination and a result. We agree on commitment. All parties, all three parts of the team agree on commitment, and we move from there. And not only do we get through the first 48-hour period, is there any financial obligation or charges discussed. The very first thing we do is we decide on whether we're a good match for each other and whether the program can be committed. So usually if you make a call to us and you talk to us and make an appointment, we're pretty much ready to start. As soon as we start talking to you, we're pretty much going to press you to start, because we understand that you wouldn't have called us or got in touch with us unless there was a detrimental problem, something that needed essential change. So basically what we're trying to do from the talk is establish the team and get started. Once we get started and get through the first 48 hours, then we can decide if there's a business model to be pursued. But the first thing to do is to start getting some facts down and get some relief. As far as attention goes, we also believe in continuous realization of status. In other words, each and every day, each and every minute, we deal with a client, we deal with the family, and we send out notifications. Everyone knows exactly where everyone is at the time. No fluff. We are working through the roadmap, and at the roadmap, at the specific time, that's where we need to be. Attention is also achieved by the varied contact and response methods. In other words, we and you, the real team and Second Starts, we're always on our toes each and every day. Nothing is complacent at all, okay? And we believe in strict course correction. We talked about this earlier. Strict course correction means this, that once we stop or anything is not achieved or we hit any type of roadblock, The course stops right then and there. Right then and there. And everyone is notified. All members of the team are brought together, and we see where we're at and see if we haven't immediately made that got back on course, then there's no further payment, there's no further anything until we reach immediate course correction. Okay. This transformation is, like we said, this is called essential change. This transformation is essential. So there is no fluffing it, no going past, no cutting corners. The goal is to reach each and every objective on a daily basis, and those objectives will, meet together to actually become the total objective and the transformation. Okay. Second starts direction. The direction is probably one of the most important aspects of second starts. We begin this to make a complete transformation from someone who has had continuous or chronic problems in an area that is causing potential harm to their life. So nothing is left to chance. Why do we do this? Because continuous evaluation on multiple levels is absolutely necessary. And we achieve this continuous evaluation by specifically care planning through self-evaluation and assisted evaluation. Also in second starts, timing is critical to preventing and eliminating detrimental procrastination. Extremely critical. Timing will be used as a marker for how evaluations are done and received. Timing is critical to how the program actually works. And when you speak to us on the phone, we explain to you that timing on each particular response and event is how we actually run the program. That's probably one of the best things about the program is that it's a no-nonsense program and is only for results. So timing is specific. When a timing goal is set, a timing goal must be met, or else it will shut the program down. And all parts of the team will be notified, and we'll see where we're at, and we'll see if we're proceeding or not, because that's how we basically set the goals, by timing goals, okay? So when we look to reach a destination, we set timing goals, and that is how we understand where we reach a goal, and that is how we exceed our goals in the Second Starts program. We also use motivational techniques with Second Starts program, and that is something that I've learned from some of the self-help industry. We use those specifically, but not exclusively. We use those along with general nursing care plan, looking for desired results. We use very strict accountability principles, and we use, as we spoke before, immediate course correction. Those are pretty much the sealable tenets in the Second Starts program, okay? All goals and directions are measurable. There'll be multiple goal points a day depending on the phase. There are 3 complete program phases. The Second Starts program is made to have a beginning and a definite ending. This is a lifestyle installation, so there is definitely an ending to it. It does not go on and on. Specific care plans are related to specific destinations, and of course, the theory of immediate course correction is always involved here. What kind of guarantee can we give you with Second Starts? Because most of the time, or all the time, anything that is done behavior-wise is not guaranteed. Well, we do offer a guarantee, and the guarantee is quite simple. We move to install a new life management system. There are daily points of goal attainment, as multiple times a day, depending on the part of the program you're at. No one is left behind, meaning that we do not leave. The client is not left behind in any instance for any one part of any day. Okay, We all know where we're moving forward, okay? And there is no financial risk. As soon as we don't hit a goal point, we need a course correction. Everything stops. There's no more charging. There's no more anything until we all are back on the same page. So this is not a program that you can get through and not reach the ability to have had a new lifestyle installed. So the call to action here is really quite simple. You want to book a call with us? Let us know what your particular situation is, and we can really get together right then and there and decide whether or not we're going to move forward with the 48-hour initiation and see where we're going with it, because we understand, like at Second Starts, when we get a call, it's someone who has had a detrimental situation or someone that wants to know about the program. But most of the time, we're looking to move forward if you are a client or a loved one, okay? Referrals, we definitely accept referrals and want referrals from all the different types of helping professionals. Remember, we are not an alternate. Second Starts is not an alternate to any one of the helping professions. We're an asset to all of the helping professions. What we do for you and the client is bring everybody together under one tent with one extremely specific focus. For the client, that is serving himself and reducing the stress on loved ones and family and becoming not a needer, but a leader. Okay? Helping professionals want the individual client to have more focus on what they are trying to deliver and teach them and get better results. So please don't have a problem with booking a call with Second Starts. And remember, there's a couple crucial things. First, you can find us at www.secondstarts.com, and that's with the number 2, NDSTARTS.com. Remember, we start fast. That 40-hour period is very important because it puts everybody immediately on the same page. And this is something that we definitely need to do. Referrals, of course, helping professionals of all types, okay? Family members, loved ones, mentors. We work with correctional and government situations. We work with volunteers, as we mentioned before, clergy, anyone who is in the business of helping someone get back on track, who has had multiple failures and is having hard time with the system as it stands. To contact us, obviously, you want to go to secondstarts.com. The Second Starts with number 2, NDSTARTS.com. On Facebook, we have a Facebook page called Essential Change with Second Starts. Email richardjones@secondstarts.com or essentialchange@secondstarts.com. Phone number we can be reached by, and we answer this constantly and take messages, 856-583-2747. And we have a podcast, Essential Change, the podcast. You can find it on all your major podcast venues.